This is the netting that you'll get when you're going to individually pot your plants, which is what most people will end up doing. It's called no-see-um netting. It's so fine, it won't let even tiny, tiny little insects in. So it's gonna protect your beetles and keep them inside the plant, not go flitting off to go find some other purple loosestrife. And it will keep predators out. So it's a very important piece of the puzzle. Also, if you get these on, like we constantly advise, as soon as your pots are planted, your plants are potted, then it'll act like a little greenhouse for you, and you'll have a better chance of getting your plants to be 18 inches tall before you add your starter beetles. And that's where they need to be in order to be successful, 18 or taller. So this netting is 5 feet wide. It's cut to 6 to 7 foot lengths. Imperfect, we do it by hand ourselves. It's not machine done. You're gonna take each net and fold the shorter length in half, because you're gonna end up with a sleeve that's open at the top and the bottom, and the entire sleeve will be that length we cut of 6 to 7 feet. Then you're going to just line up the edges. Because it is this mesh, this very fine mesh, it lays together really nice. So you don't necessarily have to pin it. I never pin them. I've also been sewing since I was about 6 years old, so I may be comfortable with things that other people aren't. Then you or whoever is going to sew these for you will come in about 1/2 inch from the edge and back stitch a bit, and then just do a straight seam all the way down and back stitch at the other end. You can do a straight and a zigzag, you could do some sort of locking stitch, whatever you want is fine. A straight stitch will work, but if you're more comfortable giving it that extra strength of a fancier, stronger stitch, go for it. It's okay. So now it's all sewn together in our imagination, and you've got open ends. It's a sleeve, remember. So the one end of it is going to go around the base of your pot, or not the base of your pot, but it'll go around your pot, and you're going to secure that with bungee cords. That's my preference. I can tighten them as much as I need to by twisting and hooking, or double-sided Velcro is preferred by some. Other people use extra long zip ties. Other people use duct tape. I stay away from the duct tape. I have used it, and the problem was that things get kind of wet and slimy after a while, and then if it gets loose from the wind blowing and all that, it can come loose, actually come off. And once that happens, because the entire netting on the bottom gets slimy, it can be just a pain to get it back on. And sometimes you just can't. So I like those other options. Then for the top of the net, I like to use just a ponytail holder. They're cheap. You can get 20, 25 on a card. I've used them for 2 to 3 years. They don't dry out like a rubber band and break easily. And they're very easy to put on the top of the net. And very easy to take off, because after your plants have reached that 18 inches or a little taller, you're going to need to take this off because you'll get your starter beetles and have to drop them in. Also, one of the things we want to do is keep your net nice and tall. You've got to have a support, like I've shown in other videos, to tie the top of the net to, so that you've got lots of room for your plant to grow. Very easy to just tie the rope right onto here, and then it's still easy to get it on and off for your starter beetles, or maybe you discover you've got a big old spider in there you're afraid it's going to eat your larva. You can get in there easily using this, where a rope, if you have this tied, it'll get wet and dry and wet and dry, and those knots can be super hard to get undone. So then if you tie it right to the ponytail holder, you don't really have to worry about undoing the rope until it's time to take your plants out for the release of the beetles. That's really all there is to it. So thanks for watching, and have fun doing Purple Loosestrife Biocontrol.